Hey guys, Wade Willis here doing my playthrough of Fate Stay Night. This is going to be part 4. I'm going to start doing this more regularly, and a lot of people were asking for the OST. I think I should be able to just keep that, and I'm going to keep the voice actors, and then I'll just be doing the narrating and giving my thoughts. So I had enough people kind of suggest that I'm gonna assume I'll be okay with copyright stuff. So yeah, we'll see. And if I have to change it, I'll let you guys know. But I think I'm going to keep it that way. And I should be able to go through it quicker doing it this way as well. And save my voice at the same time. But yeah, it's starting to really pick up in the story. We're meeting the characters. It looks like the war has begun. So let's get into it. I silently considered the plans we should make from now on. The clock, fixed, already strikes 11 when I do so. And Archer comes home.
おかえりなさい。成果はどう？
すまない。失敗した。よほど用心深いマスターだったのだろう。少なくとも、こちら側の町にはランサーのマスターはいなかった。
As expected, Lancer was alone, and it seems his master isn't the type to show up for battles personally.
そう。まあ、簡単にはいかないわよね。
Yes, there's no way everything will go as I might hope. So it can't be helped. Let's consider what happened tonight as a tuition fee for the lessons learned.
覇気がないな、マスター。いつもの威勢はどうした？まさか、先の一戦でおじけづいたというのはなしだぞ。君が命...
My bad. Archer protests silently that we should do so. I see. I guess I look depressed.
そんなわけないでしょ。私が打って出ないのはね、単に無駄手間をしたくないだけなんだから。
無駄手間をしたくない？
だって、まだマスターの数が揃ってないでしょ。今夜のはやむなしだったけど、開戦の合図があるまで戦わないわ。それが聖杯戦争のルールだって父さんは言ってたし。
そうか。君の父親もマスターだったのか。
Archer nods, understanding. Then, Archer makes a troubled face and starts to ponder something.
何よ。何か言いたいことでもあるの？あんた。
ああ、一つ聞き忘れていた。リン。君は幼い頃からマスターになるべく育てられ、それに従ってきたのだろう。つまり
当たり前じゃない。そりゃいきなりマスターに任命される魔術師もいるそうだけど、私は別よ。遠坂の人間にとって聖杯戦争は何代も前からの悲願なんだから。
そうだろう。なら目的がとうにあるはずだ。私はそれを聞き忘れていた。主の望みを知らなければ私も剣を預けられない。リン、それで君の願いは何だ？
願い？そんなの別にないけど。
何？
Oh, Archer's making a funny face.
そんなはずはあるまい。聖杯とは願いを叶える万能の杯だ。マスターになるということは聖杯を手に入れるということ。だというのに叶える願いがないとはどういうことだ？
Archer is asking with a serious expression. Oh, I see. The master's wish after obtaining the Holy Grail isn't irrelevant to the servant. But it's strange. Father said that servants have wishes as well, but that is their only wish. But that is only their wish. I don't think Archer should be concerned because I don't have any wishes.
よし、明確な望みがないのであれば、漠然とした願いはどうだ？例えば、世界を手にするといった風な。
なんで？世界なんてとっくに私のものじゃない。
That's such a Rin freaking way to look at it.
あのね、アーチャー。世界ってのはつまり自分を中心とした価値観でしょ？そんなものは生まれた時から私のものよ。そんな世界を支配しろって言うんなら、私はとっくに世界を支配している。
For someone with that much power, she does really look at the world and like everything in such a kind of weird way. It's cool. Archer looks at me with a troubled expression. I'm amazed. The guy really is hard-headed.
バカな。聖杯とは望みを叶える力。現実の世界を手にできる力だぞ。それを求めるというのに何も望まないというのか、君は。
だって世界征服もめんどくさいし、そんな無駄なことを願っても仕方がないでしょ。あなた割と想像力が貧困ね。
理解に苦しむな。それでは何のために戦う？
そこに戦いがあるからよ、はーちゃん。ついでにもらえるものはもらっておく。聖杯がなんだかは知らないけど、いずれ欲しいものができたら使えばいいだけでしょ。人間生きていれば欲しいものなんて限りないんだし。
つまり君は。
ええ、ただ勝つために戦うの、あーちゃん。
Archer's shoulders slump. Maybe he's disappointed in my opinions, but it seems he's finally
参
relaxed.
った。確かに君は私のマスターにふさわしい。
Ugh. I find it hard to deal with that kind of comment, so I wish he'd stop saying such things.
サーバントにマスターを選ぶ権利はないけど、一応聞いとく。なんでは
Oops.
言うまでもない。君は間違いなく最強のマスターだ。
Is she though?
使える相手としてこれ以上のものはない。
そう、ありがとう。あなたに言われるなら世辞ってわけじゃなさそうだし。
I look away because I'm embarrassed. I find it hard to deal with Archer because he speaks so frankly like this, even though he's so cynical. But, well, I'm honestly happy that he trusts me. I trust Archer and he trusts me. I don't think this sense of solidarity is a bad thing.
さて、ならば一息入れようか。7人目のマスターが現れるにせよ、それは今すぐというわけでも。ちょっと待て、リン。君、あの飾りはどうした？
飾りってペンダントのこと？はあ、あれなら忘れてきちゃった。もう何の力もないものだし、別に必要ないでしょ。
He's gonna be pissed.
それはそうだが、君がそう言うならいいが。
Oh.
ええ、父さんの形見だけど、別に思い出はあれだけってわけじゃない。
よくはない。そこまで強くあることはないだろう、リン。
So saying, Archer takes out the pendant I left at school.
拾いに行ってくれたんだ、あーちゃん。
もう忘れるな。それはリンにしか似合わない。
As if he's embarrassed, Archer looks away as he hands me the pendant.
そう。じゃあ、ありがとう。
I accept it. To be honest, I don't know if I should be embarrassed or cool about it. The pendant is as it was. As expected, there's no magical energy left in it. Empty of magical energy, it's just an expensive but ordinary jewel that doesn't hold any power. But as Archer would put it, even if there's no power left in this pendant, it still has a meaning as something my father specifically left for me. Then, maybe I could just laugh off the fact that I helped that guy by sacrificing my trump card.
って待った。
Something clicks in my head. I wasn't thinking straight back then because of my regret, but I'm thinking about it calmly. I missed something. He saw us, so it'll be dangerous unless we adjust his memory. Basically, Lancer prioritized eliminating the witness over his battle with us. Lancer's thinking probably matches with his master's. So, if such a master finds out the guy they killed didn't die, what would they do?
そんなやつ生かしておかない。
I get up from my sofa. It's been 3 hours since then. I might not make it, but after all I did, I have to make it on time. I run through the night. Fortunately, I know where his house is. No, I didn't look it up, but I just happened to be an acquaintance of mine goes there. No, I didn't look it up, but it just so happens that an acquaintance of mine goes there a lot. Though I've never been there myself.
まったく余計な苦労を背負おうとしているぞ、君は。
Archer has no interest in cooperating. He was against saving the guy when he was dying, and he's against me going to help him right now. It's midnight. Under the cloudy sky, we reach a Japanese-styled house. There's no sight of anyone in the house on the edge of the residential district. There aren't many houses around it, so there's no one to come and help if anything happens here. My breath is white. The wind starts to pick up. It must be quite strong as the clouds start to drift fast. The supposed warm wind of Fuyuki sends chills down my spine, making me tremble. Even if Fuyuki is considered warm, it's still cold on the hill. The air around here is frozen. I strain my ears in the cold atmosphere. In the frozen feeling, I sense a small sense of an enemy.
いる。さっきのサーバント。
I bit my lip. His presence is perceptible on the other side of the wall. Lancer is in the house already, about to kill the same guy again, who was just about to come home without a clue as to what happened.
飛び越えて倒すしかない。その後のことはその時に考える。
Just as I'm about to command Archer to go in, a bright white light, like a fallen sun, comes from within the house. The presence is eclipsed by another presence. A wave of power of the servant Lancer is consumed by an even larger wave. An instantaneous explosion of either gives the spiritual being a body summoned to overpower Lancer.
嘘。
I can only mutter, but it's true. To prove it, Lancer jumps over the wall and leaps away as if fleeing from this place.
ねえ、アーチャー。これももしもの話？
さあな。だがこれで7人。ついにか。
Oops. Archer answers calmly. Sorry, guys. I've lost my normal judgment. That's why I didn't even consider the obvious event that would follow. The wind blows strongly. Clouds over the sky like an umbrella. The unit suburbs are enclosed by darkness. The servant jumps over the wall, coming down like a demonic bird. Archer has reacted already, but I couldn't react. That was my mistake. The battle ended with a small opening, not lasting even a second. It might have only been a second for me, but for that servant, it was an opening that couldn't be ignored. A sword rushes for me.
アーチャー。
Archer pushes me aside, and the servant slashes him. It happens in an instant. Archer, who handled Lancer's fury of attacks beautifully, has been taken down with one blow.
アーチャー、消えて。
But I make it in time this time. Just as the enemy servant is about to cut off Archer's head with her blade, I forcibly remove him. A pain in my right hand. It must have been an excessive command, so a command seal has disappeared from my hand. Now there's only one remaining. That's not good, guys. But this is for the best. Rather than having Archer die, I would prefer to lose 1 or 2 command spells. Giving no consideration to Archer's disappearance, the servant attacks me.
なめるな。
Dang! I take from my pocket a topaz with a wind spell stored in it. Then I launch the magical energy it contains at her without processing it. This thing, which can blow away a house without a trace, is a bundle of wind spells I've stocked up over time. It's It's one of the 10 jewels I've been putting my magical energy into for 17 years without rest. I'm using all the magical energy stored in it, so even if I can't defeat her, it should at least slow her down a bit. No, not even that. It did nothing. The swirl of wind instantly tears apart anything caught within it, disappears like a magic trick the instant it touches the servant. Such strong magic resistance. Mere magical energy from a magus cannot hurt this servant. So this is it. She can't be hurt by magic, and I've lost the protection of Archer, so I can't stop this servant. I barely managed to avoid one blow, but that's all. I look up at the night sky. In it, the figure of cold-hearted death who is looking down upon me as I lay miserably on the ground. The wind blows. In between the dark clouds and the spiral sky, the moon shines. The falling moon in the beautiful face. This is the servant that drove off Lancer, defeated my archer in one strike, and annulled my magic with no trouble.
今の魔術は見事だった、メイガス。
The girl's voice is like a bell. Yes, the voice is like a nightmare right now. It's only natural. The more beautiful my enemy is, the more of a nightmare it is, as I cannot believe the difference in our strength.
だが最後だ、アーチャーのマスターよ。
The point of the sword shines brightly. On the verge of death, I understand. With just one look, without proof, this is the card I wanted. The one said to be the strongest of all servants, the hero of the sword. I look up at the moon, accepting my death. There's no time for me to flee or plead for my life. I will die here, and the Tosaka Rin's Holy Grail War will end on the third day. There is only disgrace and regret, and I will probably vanish, bearing a grudge against my enemy. But still, I don't feel anything. Something must be really wrong with me. Even though I'm going to be killed in an instant, I adore her again. That's right. If you ask for regrets, that's it. But I guess it can't be helped. Because she's the most powerful servant. Because her figure is so heartless, so infinitely valiant, and so beautiful. I am the bone of my sword. Steel is my body, and fire is my blood. I have created over 1,000 blades, unknown to death, nor known to life. I have withstood the pain to create many weapons, yet those hands will never hold anything. So as I pray, unlimited blade works. When I came to, I was in a burning field. I guess there was a big fire. The familiar town had turned to ashes, and it looked like the remains of a battlefield from a movie. But that didn't last long either. The fire had died down by this time the sun had rose. A tall wall of flame had shortened, and most of the buildings had fallen. It felt strange, being the only thing in a place that still had its original form. I was the only one still alive around here. I must have been real lucky, or my house is built in a very lucky spot. I don't know which it was, but the point is, I was the only one left alive. I felt that since I survived, I should live on. I started walking aimlessly because I thought it would be dangerous just to stay there. I wasn't really concerned about getting burned up like the people lying around me. Probably because over and above not wanting to be like them, I had a stronger feeling in my mind. But I still had no hope. It was already a wonder why I was still alive, so I couldn't expect to be saved. I won't survive. Whatever happens, I won't be able to escape from this red world. It was such an absolute hell that even a small child could understand it. And I collapsed. Was it because there was no air? Was it because no function was left in my body? Anyway, I collapsed but stared up at the clouded sky. Everything around me was burned up. I could see many shriveled people. The dark clouds loomed overhead. telling me it would rain soon. That's good. The fire will be put out once it rains. In the end, I sighed deeply and looked at the sky. I say to myself that it hurts. I say so on behalf of all the people who couldn't say so. That was 10 years ago. After that, I was miraculously saved. My body survived. But I think all the other things about me burned up and were reduced to ashes. If you take away a child's parents, homes, and all such things, there's nothing left for him. That's why there was only my body. I think it's a simple story. In other words, in order to let my body live, my heart died. I'm dreaming. I squint my eyes at the white light. So bright, I think. It was just light entering my eyes when I woke up, but I'm not used to it. I probably didn't even understand what the bright light meant. When my eyes focus, I'm surprised. I'm lying on an unfamiliar bed in an unfamiliar room. I'm surprised, but the room is so white and clean that I feel safe.
どこだろう、ここ。
I look around. The room is big and there are many beds. A person is in each bed and everyone seems to be hurt. But nothing feels ill in this room. Everyone who's hurt is someone who was saved. I relax and let my eyes wander. Outside the window, the bright blue sky was unbelievably beautiful. After a few days, I finally understood. I could clearly remember what happened in the past few days. Even so, I was no different from a newborn baby. Not just a metaphor, it was close to the truth. Anyway, it was a terrible fire. I had been saved from it, was in the hospital with my body wrapped in bandages, and my parents were gone. I didn't get the situation, but I vaguely understood that I was alone. I think I understood quickly. Well, there was nothing but children in similar situations around me, so all I could do was absorb the fact. And after that, that man came, right when I was beginning to worry about what would happen to me next. He came on the day my bandages were taken off and I was able to eat without help. Wrinkled my coat, uncombed my hair. The man, a bit younger than a doctor, felt more like a big brother than a father.
こんにちは。君がシロー君だね。
A smile that seemed to melt into the white sunlight. I think it was a suspicious voice, but a very kind voice.
率直に聞くけど、孤児院に預けられるのと、初めて会ったおじさんに引き取られるの、君はどっちがいいかな？
The man was saying he could adopt me. When I asked him if he was a relative of mine, he just said he was a stranger. He looked like an unreliable guy with no future. But it made no difference, as I knew nothing about either one, him or the orphanage. So I decided to go with him.
そうか、よかった。なら早く身支度を済ませよう。新しい家に一日でも早く慣れなくっちゃいけないからね。
The guy quickly started packing my stuff. His packing wasn't very good, even in the eyes of a child. Then, after making a big mess...
おっと、大切なことを言い忘れた。うちに来る前に一つだけ教えなくちゃいけないことがある。
Is that okay?
うん。はじめに言っておくとね、僕は魔法使いなんだ。
Random? He says in a serious, exaggerated tone. It happened in an instant. Come to think of it, I was really a child back then. I automatically believed those words.
ああ、じいさんすごいな。
I said so with bright eyes. Since that time, I became his child. Actually, I don't remember what I said back then, but my father would always talk about that day. He would remember and retell the story again and again. So for my father, Emiya Kiritsugu, that might have been the happiest day of his life. So, I guess it was strange for my father to tell me that he was a sorcerer, but I was strange as well for admiring that. And thus I became an adopted son, and my last name became Emiya. Emiya Shiro. When I said my name, I was really proud of having the same last name as Kiritsugu. I'm dreaming. A story from my childhood. It was when I finally convinced my father to make me his student, so that must have been about 8 years ago. When I was old enough to stay home by myself, Kiritsugu started to leave the house on a regular basis. He would say in his normal tone that he would travel the world, and actually act on those words. That's how he was after that. It was normal for him to leave the house empty for a month, and he sometimes wouldn't come home for half a year. The Emiya house is a big Japanese style house, and Kiritsugu and I were the only ones living there. I was perplexed in this house at times, as it was too big for a child. But still, I liked my life here. Emiya Kiritsugu would come home from his journeys and tell me lots of stories like a child. And the child who shared his last name would be at home waiting for those stories. I was always alone in the house, but that loneliness would all fade with the stories he brought back. The father who was always chasing his dreams like a child. His attitude was outstanding, but he always seemed dazzling to me. That might be why I wanted to be like him someday. Well, on top of that, looking at my ever-dreaming father, I felt like I should become reliable myself. (131) I hear a sound. I hear a heavy, old, rusty sound as the door opens. Light enters the dark shed. My mind waking up.
先輩、起きてますか？
Feels the cold air and approaching footsteps.
おはよう、さくら。
はい、おはようございます、先輩。
Sakura smiles and nods as if accustomed to this situation.
先輩、朝ですよ。まだ時間はありますけど、ここで眠っていたら藤村先生に怒られます。
そうだな。よく起こしに来てくれた。いつもすまない。
そんなことありません。先輩、いつも朝は早いですから。こんな風に起こしに来れるなんてたまにしかありません。
Sakura seems more upbeat than usual today, as if she's happy about something.
そうかな。結構さくらには起こされてるぞ、俺。けど藤姉には叩き起こされるからさくらの方が助かる。これに懲りずに次は頑張る。
I answer her with a sleepy head. I don't know what I'm saying with my mind, not fully awake.
はい、わかりました。でも頑張ってもらわない方が嬉しいです、私。
She's too freaking cute. Sakura is giggling. God, I guess my head was still dozing, and I said something weird.
ちょっと待ってくれ。すぐ起きるから。
The cold outdoor air helps in situations like this. The chill works well to beat the sleepiness out of my head. In front of me is Mato Sakura, my junior at school. The place is a shed behind my house, and the time is 6 o'clock.
先輩、
目が覚めた。ごめんなさくら。またやっちまった。朝の支度手伝わないといけないのに。
そんなのいいんです。先輩、夕べも遅かったんでしょ。なら朝はゆっくりしてください。
Sakura says so in a happy tone. It's unusual. Sakura really seems to be in a good mood this morning.
バカ、そういうわけにいくか。今起きるから一緒にキッチンに行こう。よし、 準備完了。それじゃあ行こう、さくら。
いえ、その先輩。
なんだよ。他になんかある
Is
の
he
か？
not wearing pants or something?
いえ、そういうことではないんですけど、その先輩、家に戻る前に着替えた方がいいと思います。
That said, I looked down at myself. I fell asleep while I was working, so I'm still wearing my overalls. Being my work clothes, they're pretty dirty. I can't imagine what Fujini would say to me if I went in the house like this.
まだ目が覚めてないみたいだ。なんか普段に増して抜けてるな、俺。
そうかもしれませんね。ですから朝食の支度は私に任せて、先輩はもう少しゆっくりしていてください。それにほら、ここを散らかしっぱなしにしていたら藤村先生に怒られるでしょ。
そうだな。それじゃあ着替えてから行くから、さくらは先に戻っていてくれ。
はい、お待ちしてますね、先輩。
Sakura leaves. Well, I have to change into my school uniform and clear up this mess. The shed is built on the edge of our yard, and just as it seems, it's a warehouse we put all our junk in. But for me, it's a place of treasures, as I've enjoyed messing with things since I was a kid. Father didn't allow me to go into the shed, but I always snuck in here, and as a result, it became my base. For me, Emiya Shiro, I guess you could call this place my real room. The big Emiya household doesn't suit me, and I can only relax in this space full of junk.
そもそももったいないじゃないか。ガラクタって言ってもまだ使えるし。
Most of the things here are appliances that can't be used anymore. Do I bring all the junk here because I like the place, or do I come to like it because of all the junk? Anyway, since I was sneaking in here, it became my hobby to fix broken things. It's not like I get attached to things. I think it just annoys me not to use things that could still be used. And just like that, I was fixing up this stove all last night.
完成は明日か。途中で寝るなんて集中力が足りない証拠だ。
I shake off the feeling of disappointment in myself. I gather up the parts of the stove and put them on the shelf full of things waiting to be fixed. There are no spaces on the shelf full of things awaiting repair. An old VCR awaits after the stove. I guess I'll ignore the fact that Fujini broke both of them. I change into my uniform. This place is like my room, and it holds a change of clothes along with other things I need. It also has lots of blueprints and junk, the result of failures from when I do my training. There's also some kind of old design inscribed on the floor like an altar or something.
さて、今日も一日頑張って精進しよう。
Clapping my hands in a prayer to the shed, I head to the house. I emerge from the shed. The Emiya house is a Japanese-style house on the outskirts of town. My father wasn't much of a respected person in town, but he somehow still had this huge house. That on its own is a mystery, but it also seems he didn't have any relatives in Japan. That's why this house became mine and no one else's when my father died. Though to be honest, I don't have that kind of management ability. Old man Fujimura is in charge of complicated things like inheritance and property taxes. Old man Fujimura is the big landlord in this neighborhood. According to father, the old man is like a Yakuza boss. Of course, this is just prejudice. He's not like a Yakuza boss. He is a Yakuza boss. Well, that's a problem itself, but I prefer to ignore it. It's certainly true that he's energetic and scary, but he's actually not that bad of a person. It helps me when he pays a lot when I tune up the motorcycle he likes to ride. Anyway, that's why I'm the only one living in this big house. It's been 5 years since father died. The days have passed quickly. I sigh, thinking about how much I've grown in those 5 years. I've trained every day to be like Kiritsugu, but it's not that easy in reality. It's natural because I had no talent to begin with, but what can be said about having no improvement in all 5 years? To sum up the present in one sentence, my goal is so far away that I'm not even at the starting line yet. No, I guess it won't do any good to rush. For now, I have to do what I can. Well then, right now I should obviously go help Sakura. That's right, I have to go and help Sakura. I feel bad for letting my junior do all the work, and for Sakura coming here early in the morning. But I'm too late. It seems breakfast has already been made. I can smell the elegant scent of breakfast befitting Sakura. Sakura is finished cooking and is opening the cupboards, and I can see all that she has left to do is set the table.
面目ない。せめて食器の用意ぐらいはやるから、さくらは座っててくれ。
もう来ちゃったんですか、先輩。
もうじゃないぞ。6時10分って言ったら朝飯を食ってる時間じゃないか。完全に寝坊だよ。
そんなことはないと思いますよ。先輩は部活をしていないんですから、この時間は十分に早起きです。
部活は関係ない。それを言ったら朝練があるさくらがうちに来てくれるのも問題じゃないか。
いえ、私は好きでしていることですから、部活のことは気にしないでください。
ああ、それは何度も聞いた。だから俺も部活に関係なく早起きしてるんだ。さくらが来てくれるならその時間には起きてないと失礼
I
だろ。
honestly don't know how people don't like her. That is crazy to me. For me, waking up early is waking up before Sakura gets here, and sleeping in is making Sakura prepare breakfast on her own, like today. Though this has only been a habit for a year and a half or so.
ともかくさくらは休んでろよ。あとは並べるだけなんだから、それぐらい俺にやらせてくれ。
I stand next to Sakura and take out the dishes. Sakura is stubborn at times, and in situations like this she won't rest until she's forced to.
なら私もお手伝いします。お皿には私が盛りますから、先輩はお茶碗を出してください。
いや、だから全部こっちでやるからいいってば。
いけません。先輩はお家の主人なんですから、朝くらいはドーンと構えていてください。
She's getting all sassy now.
どーんと構えろって。さくら一人に働かせてのんびりしている主人なんて家主失格だぞ。いいからさくらは今に行ってろって。
はい、ぜひ失格してください。これいつも美味しいご飯を食べさせてもらっているお返しなんです。だからできれば先輩にはゆっくりしていてほしいです。
食費だったら折半なんだからさくらが気にすることじゃない。
She is
感謝
super
なんて言った
stubborn.
ら俺がしたいぐらいだ。さくらが来てくれるようになってから飯が豪勢になったからな。
やっぱり先輩分かってなかったんですね。先輩のお家のご飯が美味しいのはそういうことじゃないんです。
そういうことじゃないってどういうことだ？
いえ、なんでもありません。けど責任取ってくださいね。私先輩の家じゃないとご飯を美味しくいただけなくなっちゃったんですから。
バカ、おかしなこと言うな。藤姉に聞かれたらどうするんだ。あの人には冗談なんて通じないんだから。
そうですね。藤村先生に聞かれたら大変です。
まったくだ。あんまりおかしなこと言うな。
はい、言いません。言いませんからお手伝いしていいですよ
Just
ね、
let her help
先
you.
輩。
Sakura looks up naturally and calmly.
いいよ、好きにしろ。そんなにやりたきゃさくらに任せる。
好きにします、私。
まったく、本当に最近言うこと聞かなくなったよな、さくら。
ですね。藤村先生に似てきたのかもしれません。
Speaking softly, Sakura reaches up for the cover. Her silky hair and smooth skin catch my eye. How could I put this? It's troubling. She must be maturing as she seems really feminine these days. Her casual movements and her figure are so beautiful that I instinctively look away.
先輩、どうかしましたか？
Yeah, you're super hot.
いや、どうもしてない。どうもしてないから気にしないでくれ。
Honestly, why am I feeling tense around my friend's sister? After all, Sakura is not like that. She's a good underclassman and a junior I need to take care of. First of all, the relationship between Miya and Mato Sakura are just that of a senpai and a junior. She's the sister of a close friend of mine, but she's a grade below me. We weren't that close. It all changed a year and a half ago into this cooperative kind of relationship. Sakura came to cook when I was injured, and after that, I think we just ended up like this. I think we intended to do it until my injury healed, but some trivial thing came up to make her stay with it. Anyways, Sakura's a good cook and perfect at cleaning and doing the laundry. It's a big help having her here in the mornings, but it's a bit troubling recently. The problem is not Sakura, but me. Frankly, Sakura is beautiful. She's one of the best looking first years, and I'm sure that there are a lot of guys who want to date her. And on top of that, she's been growing in certain places recently, and some of her casual gestures have started to catch my eye. That's what I meant by a small problem. Maybe I'm just feeling guilty about being attracted to my friend's sister. Usually I'm fine, but when I'm caught off guard like just now, I blush. Does this make me an unsuitable senpai? Not for her. She's probably pumped about it. Breakfast is placed on the table. A perfect breakfast consisting of chicken salad, cooked salmon, spinach, radish, and carrot miso soup and yam soup.
いただきます。
Sakura and I bow, and we start our meal quietly. The sound of our chopsticks echo. Sakura isn't the talkative type, and I'm not versatile enough to talk while eating. Naturally, mealtimes are quiet. Usually it's louder, but today the loud person is. She must have been watching spy movies last night, as she's eyeing us while hiding behind a newspaper.
藤村先生、ご飯時に新聞は見ない方がいいと思いますよ。
Fujini ignores Sakura's question. She's acting weird, but Fujini always acts in suspicious ways during breakfast. Sakura must be used to it, as she continues to eat with no particular care. Sakura prefers to make Western foods. She learned to cook Japanese foods after she started coming here to help. Fujini and I prefer Japanese, so Sakura learned to make Japanese food for our breakfast. Now she's good. Now she's so good she almost surpassed me, her teacher. The salmon is especially good as it's cooked to perfection. Her miso soup is tasty, and she has shown some capacity even for making yam soup by grinding yams. Actually, I think this is the first time she's made it.
悪い。さくら、醤油取って。
はい。大変です先輩。先輩のお醤油は昨日で切れてます。
じゃあ藤姉のでいいや。取って。
藤村先生、いいですか？
Fushini nods. Her newspaper trembles.
はいどうぞ。とろろ汁に使うんですか？
ああ、とろろには醤油だろう、普通。
I put the soy sauce onto the white yam soup. After stirring it, I put it on the rice and take a bite. The stickiness of the yam and the taste of the soy.
うわ、まずこれソースだぞ、ソース。しかもオイスター。
I almost throw it back up. Fujini throws her newspaper away.
どうだ、朝のうちにソースとお醤油のラベルを取り替えておく作戦なのだ。
The female spy throws up her arms in show of her happiness.
朝っぱらから何考えてんだあんたは。今年で25のくせにいつまでたっても藤根は藤根だな。
んだ、昨日の恨み思い知ったか。みんなと一緒になってお姉ちゃんをいじめるやつには当然の天罰ってところかしら。
天罰ってのは人為的なもんじゃないだろう。なんかおとなしいと思ったら昨日からこんなこと考えてやがったのか、この暇人。
そうだよ、おかげでこれから急いでテストの採点しなくちゃいけないんだから。そういうわけで急がないとやばいのだ。
Gee. Fushini sits back down and finishes her breakfast quickly.
はい、ごちそうさま。朝ごはん今日も美味しかったよ、さくらちゃん。はい、お粗末様でした、先生。それじゃあ先に行くわね。二人とも遅刻
Fushini
したら
is
怒るわ
such a
よ。
freaking spaz. And she runs off. There's something wrong with a world in which that thing is a teacher.
先輩。
すまない。せっかくの朝食だっていうのに藤根のやつろくに味わいもしないで。
いえ、そういうのではなくて、昨日藤村先生に何かしたんですか？食べ物に細工するなんて藤村先生にしてはやりすぎですから。
いや、それがさ、昨日ついあだ名で呼んじまった。
それじゃあ仕方ありませんね。先輩、藤村先生に謝らなかったんでしょう。
面目ない。いつものことなんで忘れて
Such
た。
a jabroni.
ダメですよ。藤村先生、先輩にあだ名を言われるのだけは嫌がるんですから。また泣かせちゃったんでしょう。
泣かした上にダットのごとく走り去らせた。おかげで昨日の英語は自習だった。
Naughty, naughty. And I was awarded a student honor. And I was awarded a student honor written on note paper, but I threw it away.
もう、それじゃあ今朝のは先輩が悪いです。
Fujini is like a big sister for Sakura, so she's basically on Fujini's side. That's good in its own way, but I wish she'd consider my situation where I had to deal with Fujini 24/7. Fujini was originally an acquaintance of father's, and she's been coming to the house a lot since I was adopted. She started to show up even more after father died, and now she's almost a dependent, eating breakfast and dinner here. No, maybe she's why I was able to make it on my own even after my father died. Fujini, Sakura, and I are now residents of the Emiya household. But I'm the only one who knows my father was a magus. It's said that magi hide their identities. That's why I've been hiding the fact that I'm learning magic ever since I became my father's student. I say I'm learning, but I can't even cast a single magic spell properly. With this kind of skill, it won't make much difference whether I hide it or not. But because it was how my father wanted things, I've trained secretly since then. I finish breakfast and prepare for school. I clean the dishes with Sakura while listening to the news on TV. Sakura is staring at the TV screen. Over the screen runs an exaggerated teletype reading, "Gas leak accidents continue." It seems there was a big accident in the neighboring town of Shinto. It happened in a building in the business district, and it seems a whole floor of people ran out of oxygen and fell unconscious. They've called it a gas leak, but this kind of accident has been happening often recently.
今のニュース気になるのか、さくら。
いえ、別に。ただ、事故がシントで起きているなら近いなって。先輩、シントの方でアルバイトしていますよね。
してるけど別にそんな大きな店じゃないよ。今のニュースみたいな事故は起きないと思う。
but it's not a risk I can completely ignore. Gas leaks can happen in any building, and on top of that, it hurts to think that hundreds of people are suffering. It's said that the accidents are happening often because of defective construction work during the rapid development of Shinto. Whether that's true or not, I certainly don't want any more victims.
物騒な話だ。俺たちも気をつけないと。
それならご心配なく先輩。ガスの元栓はいつも2回チェックしてますから安心です。
Sakura boasts with pride.
いや、そういう話でなくて。
Yeah, I've thought so before, but Sakura is a bit off too.
先輩、裏手の戸締まりはしました？
したよ。缶抜きかけたけど問題あるか？
ありません。それじゃあ鍵かけますね。先輩、今日のお帰りは何時ですか？
少し遅くなると思う。さくらは？
私はいつも通りです。多分私の方が早いと思いますから、夕食の下準備は済ませておきますね。
うん、助かる。俺もできるだけ早く帰るよ。
We lock the gate. Sakura and Fujini also have keys to my house, and the rule is last person out locks up.
行こうか。急がないと朝練に間に合わない。
はい。それじゃあ少しだけ急ぎましょうか、先輩。
We walk to the down into the town together. Passing the long wall and going downhill, we reach the residential district. My house is on top of the hill, far away from the center of town. Going down the hill takes us to the residential district, and beyond that, we reach the crossroads at the center of this town. From here, there are many roads, a big bridge leading to the neighboring city, a hill road that leads to the Ryudu Temple. That's going to be important. The residential district on the other side of town. The shopping district Sakura and I always use. And the school we're headed to right now. We head for school without stopping anywhere else. We don't talk much as we walk up the hill. Since it's 7 o'clock, there aren't many others on the road. Other than us, all you can see is a few others heading to their morning practices.
それじゃあまたな。部活頑張れよ。
I part with Sakura at the school gate like usual. Sakura's in the archery club, so we have to part here in the mornings. But today, Sakura doesn't go.
さくら、体の調子悪いのか？
いえ、そういうことじゃなくて、先輩、たまには道場の方に寄っていきませんか？
いや、別に道場に用はないぞ。それに今日は一斉に頼まれてるから生徒会室に行かないとまずい。
そうですよね。ごめんなさい。余計なことを言っちゃって。
Sakura bows. What?
それじゃあ失礼します。晩ご飯楽しみにしていてくださいね。
Sakura runs off like she's ashamed of something. I wonder what that was all about. Well, she's in love with you, duh.
一斉、いるか？
いるぞ。今朝は少し遅かったな、エミヤ。
He must have been studying as Issei looks up from the paper he's reading.
一斉だけか。他の連中はどうしたんだ？この時間なら登校しててもおかしくないだろ
いや、あいにくとうちのメンバーはビジネスライクでね。働く時間帯はきっかり決まっていて、早出と残業はしたくないのだそうだ。
それで生徒会長自らが雑用か。ここはここで大変そうだな。
好きでしている苦労だ。エミヤに同情してもらうのは筋が違う。
いや、一斉に同情なんてしてないぞ。
それはそれで無念だが、聞き流すとしよう。情が映っているということでは同じだからな。
Issei, who's organizing the papers he was reading, is the big boss of the school council room, of the student council room. He's the guy trying his best to reform the lax student council, and he's been a friend of mine since the first year. His full name is Ryudo Issei. Despite his old-fashioned name, he has elegant features and he's really popular with girls. And he's also the student council president, so you'd think he'd take to it like a duck to water, but
やはり朝は舌がしびれるほどの熱湯が良い。
he's just sipping on tea like this, so he's not that firm. As you can see, Issei has a plain personality. It's easily misunderstood, but he doesn't involve himself in love affairs nor engage in normal student recreations. It's because he's the successor of the Ryudo Temple up in the mountains. He's fine with that idea, but there's a good chance he'll shave his head when he graduates.
それで、今日は何をするんだ？
ああ、まあともかく座って一服と言いたいのだが、時間がないな。移動がたら説明をするゆえ、いつもの道具を持ってついてきてくれ。率直に言うとな、うちの学校、金のバランスが極端なんだよ。
知ってる。運動系がひいきされてるもんで、他に予算がいかないんだろ？
結果文化系の部員は絶えず不遇の扱いでな。今年から文化系に予算が行くよう尽力しているのだが、予算の流れが不鮮明でうまく回っていない。
Sounds fishy.
お
Oops.
かげ特に冬のストーブ不足に関しては打開策がまるでない。
そうか。マイナスドライバーくれ。一番大きいやつな。あと導線も。これぐらいならなんとか。
導線
Oh my
これか。
gosh.
すまん。よくわからん。
You owe him big time, man.
間違っていたら叱ってくれ。
当たってるからいいよ。で、ストーブ不足がどうしたって？ここ以外にも故障してんのがあんのか？
ある。第二視聴覚室と美術部の暖房器具が怪しいそうだ。新品購入願いの嘆願書が刻一刻と増えている。
けど予算にそんな余裕はないと。やっぱり劣化してるだけだな。中がイカれてなくて助かった。
治りそうか、エミヤ。
治るよ。こういう時古いやつは分かりやすくてい
That
い。
is super true.
配線系のショートだから新しいのに変えればとりあえず今年いっぱいは頑張ってくれる。
そうか。やるな、エミヤ。お前が頼りになると極めて嬉しいぞ。
Sounds like Issei's ready to give Emiya a handy for this.
おかしな日本語使うね、一世。もう少しで済むからちょっと外に出ててくれ。
エミヤの邪魔はせん。
What is he gonna do by himself? Issei leaves the room quietly. It seems he assumes that I'm going to do something delicate.
いや、デリケートといえばデリケートなんだけど。
I place my hand on the old electric heater. Usually, even if you're used to fixing things, it's hard to figure out what's wrong with it just by looking at it. So the fact that I figured it out means that what I'm doing is not ordinary. I block off my vision and look inside the heater with my sense of touch. In that moment, an image appears in my head.
電熱線が断線しかかってるのが2つと、電熱管はまだ持つな。電源コードの方は絶縁テープで
This
なん
looks
とか
pretty
なる。
cool how they do it in this. Good, I can fix this with the tools I have with me. If the pipe were broken, it couldn't be fixed by an amateur. If that had been the case, I would have had to strengthen it in a very unamateurish way. But in this case, just looking at it will suffice. That is the magic Emiya learned from Kiritsugu.
よし、始めるか。
I take the cover off and start to work. I already know where it's broken, so the rest is easy.
これだけは得意なんだけどな、俺。
This is a useful skill, though. That's right. Emiya has no talent for magic. Though it doesn't make up for it, I think I'm quite skilled at visualizing structures just like I did just now. In fact, when I first figured out a structure and reproduced it, my father looked surprised and said, "What a useless ability." That seems like it could be kind of useless. I guess my strong point isn't a useful ability. According to my father, it's already a waste of effort to perceive the structure with my eyes. For a real magist, there's no need to understand every corner of a structure just like I just did. They say that the battle of the magist comes in reading the center, the core of things instantaneously and changing it faster than anything else. That's why reading the structure is a wasted effort, as even if you do understand the structure, all you can do is determine where the magical energy could be more easily transmitted. So all in all, it turns out that my strong point is just fixing things like this. I don't have to open them to look for damage. If I can quickly search for broken parts and have the skills to repair them, most things can be fixed. Though that's only the case for simple things that can be fixed with amateur knowledge.
よし、終わり。次に行くか。
I wonder if he could be a doctor or something too. That would kind of be cool. I pack away the conducting wire that I used and go out into the hallway with a screwdriver and wrench in hand.
伊勢、修理終わったぞ。
But in the hallway is someone else apart from Issei, a girl. I'm a bit surprised. The person talking to Issei is Sakura from Class 2A. She's a lady who lives in a big mansion on the top of the hill, a perfect honor student. Good-looking, smart, athletic, and faultless. She's intelligent, well-mannered, and modest about her looks. People say that she's the ideal woman. So it hardly needs to be said that guys at my school treat her like an idol. Though in Tosaka's case, she's perfect. She's so perfect that she's considered unreachable. It's commonly believed that only teachers and guys like Issei can even talk to her. Well, to be honest, I'm a guy too, so I'm one of Tosaka Rin's admirers. Tosaka looks at us as if she's in a bad mood. It seems to be true that she and Issei don't get along.
と、悪い。頼んだのはこっちなのに、エミヤに任せっきりにしてしまった。許せ。
Wow. Issei's an amazing man, talking like that and ignoring Tosaka.
そんなこと気にするな。で、次はどこだよ。あんまり時間ないぞ。
ああ、次は視聴覚室だ。前から調子が悪かったそうなんだが、この度ついに天寿を全うされた。
天寿全うしてたら直せないだろ。買い直した方が早いぞ。
そうなんだが、一応見てくれると助かる。俺から見れば臨終だが、お前から見れば仮病かもしれん。
そうか。なら試そう。
There's only about 30 minutes left until our homeroom. I'll have to hurry if I'm going to fix it. I start for the AV room with Issei, but it's impolite to ignore her completely when we've met like this. I turn back to Tosaka, who's standing in a daze.
朝早いんだな、登坂。
I make an honest comment, then follow Issei.
ギリギリ間に合ったか。すまんなエミヤ。また苦労をかけた。頼み事をした上に遅刻させては友人失格だ。
別に気にするな。俺が遅刻する分には大したことじゃないだろ。ま、一星が遅刻するのは問題だけど。
もっともだ。いや、間に合ってよかった。
Issei heads to his seat, relieved. It's exactly 8 o'clock. The first homeroom bell is rung, so Fujini should be here in about 5 minutes. I'm a bit out of breath since we ran here from the AV room. Taking a deep breath, I head to my seat.
朝から騒がしいね、エミヤ。部活を辞めてから何をしてるかと思えば竜道の太鼓持ち。僕には関係ないけどさ、うちの評判を落とすようなことはしないでよね、君。なんていうか節操ないからさ。
Freaking douche. Mato Shinji, a friend of mine from middle school, is standing in front of my seat. As you can tell from his last name, he's Sakura's brother, who's 1 year older than her.
よ、弓道部は落ち着いてるか、シンジ。
当然だろ。部外者に話してもしょうがないけど、目立ちたがり屋が一人減ったんで平和になったんだ。次の大会だっていいところまで行くさ。
そうか、三綴りも頑張ってるんだな。
はあ？何見当違いなこと言ってんの？弓道部が記録を伸ばしてるのは僕がいるからに決まってるじゃんか。
Oh my god.
エミヤさ、とっくに部外者なんだから知ったような口を叩くと恥をかくよ。
Such a douche.
そうか、気をつけよう。もっとも弓道部に用はないから関わることはないけどな。
I put my bag on the desk and pull out the chair.
何それ？僕の弓道部には興味がないってこと？
Dude, you're so... Oh.
興味じゃなくて用だよ。部外者なんだからおいそれと道場に行くの変だろう。けど何かあったら言ってくれ。手伝えることがあったら手伝う。弦張りとか弓の直し、シンジは苦手だったろ。
そう、サンキュー。何か雑用があったら声をか
Why
け
are
る。
you friends with this guy?
ま、そんなことはないだろうけどさ。
Sure.
ああ、それがいい。雑用を残しているようなやつは首相失格だからな。あんまり藤村先生を困らせるなよ。あの人怒ると本気で怖いぞ。
余計なお世話だ。ともかくお前はもう部外者なんだから道場に近づくな
Needs
よ。
to be slapped. Okay, I'm gonna save right here, guys. Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of like slice of life right now, but I think we have one more day until we kind of catch up to where we were at in the prologue, maybe 2 days, so should get real interesting soon. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.